The abscess tooth that revealed the truth between my partner, 25M, and I, 27M. It's a bit difficult to figure where it all went wrong, but I think that I just witnessed the truth between the vacation, the declaration, the unmentionable, and my disappointment. A bit of story time. My partner and I both work in the service industry, and I've been back since early May working around 60 to 80 hours a week, and he's been working around 30 to 35. I've been contributing more to household bills, savings and general expenses because he isn't making as much. He needed a vacation and I was going to lose my marbles without one. We planned a quick trip to a nearby town, but then his friends got added onto it. It wasn't that big of a deal, but I wasn't thrilled about sharing our vacation with other people, but I didn't have the mental capacity to explain what I wanted out of our vacation because I'm so exhausted and truly living day by day. So the departure date quickly arrives, but I'm in immense pain. My tooth is giving me all sorts of hell. This is where I tell myself that I need to get a mouthguard for my nighttime grinding issue, but the pain is relentless, and I realize that after I wake up one morning and see my face swollen, that perhaps this isn't just a nighttime grinding issue. We scurry over to the dentist, and after they take some x-rays and poking around in my mouth, they declare, "You have a necrotic tooth and you need an extraction or a root canal." Fuck. I realize that this isn't going to be a fix I can do while on vacation, seeing as how bad the infection is. The fix will be spread over 2 appointments a few weeks apart. I'm in so much pain that I break down at the house while crawling into bed because it all hit me at once. I'm going to have to spend a whole lot of money on my face. I won't be able to enjoy the vacation. I took time off for nothing, and I hate everyone and everything in the world right now. I decide that I'm going to go home so I can be in my own bed at my own house. But then he asks the unmentionable, "Do you mind if I stay?" Told him that I obviously wanted him to come home with me, but I ultimately told him that I'm not going to be mad if he stays behind. It's true, I'm not mad that he stayed behind. I'm disappointed that it even crossed his mind, because if the shoe was on the other foot and my partner had a medical emergency, then I'd drop what I'm doing immediately and go take care of the issue at hand. So what do Reddit? Would you be upset at your partner for bailing on you in a similar situation? I'm a bit ambivalent at this point, because this isn't the first time he's been emotionally constipated, and he couldn't give a shit that I've been on the receiving end of. Too long didn't read. I had a tooth infection that caused massive swells in my face, but my partner is like the honey badger and doesn't give a shit. He stays on vacation while I drive myself back home and get a root canal to fix this growing softball in my face. My face hole is fixed and he gets back today, but I don't really want him here. What do? You paid for the backer and he stayed and played while you drove yourself home with your severe pain. Give him notice to vacate your life. I would be really upset in your position. I get that he doesn't want to give up his trip, but neither do you. You didn't just go, "Ooh, an abscess, this sounds like fun." A trip that Top paid for, no less. I'd be humiliated, hurt, and mad. This guy isn't it. You can do better. The people saying it's just a toothache and asking what he was supposed to do are missing the point. You were in pain. In your post you said it was so bad that you had to crawl to bed. If he's really your partner, first of all, he wouldn't have invited his friends in your vacation, showing he didn't care to have quality time with you. He would have gone home with you to comfort you. Use this incident to examine if you even want to spend the rest of your life with him. How did you even get home safely? I drove back home. There were other people with cars there, so he wasn't put out by not having a vehicle. You said it. This isn't the first time. Your choice if it's the last time. Personally, I'm not down for a relationship with someone who's fine taking a vacation for 2 and turning it into their hangout with buddies while I go to the dentist because I look and feel like a baseball after batting practice. I learned that my fiancé only proposed to me because he felt obligated to. My fiancé and I are both 20. We have a 3-year-old daughter together. Our relationship started off as just a fling, but after I found out I was pregnant, we decided to try and make it work. My fiancé is a very responsible guy who has a strong moral compass. He's honest, hardworking, reliable, a no-nonsense kind of man. My best friend always said that he reminds her of Ron Swanson from the TV show Parks and Rec. Last month he proposed to me. He didn't get down on his knees or anything, just asked me to marry him, and apologized for not asking me sooner. He wanted to find a stable job first, he said. I said yes. We planned on getting married in February, just a small ceremony with our immediate family. I love him very much, but deep down I've always had the sneaking suspicion that he loves me but isn't in love with me. He treats me so well, but more like a friend than anything. He says I love you maybe once or twice a month, and we aren't really intimate with each other, again just once or twice a month. He kisses me but mostly on the forehead, and when we are together in public he doesn't tend to hold my hand unless I hold his first. Another element is, he is very close to his childhood best friend, 19F. They were neighbors as kids and extremely close. Then she moved away when she was 14. They still keep in touch and meet up several times a year. He has confessed to me before that he was pretty obsessed with her and was distraught when she moved away. I never felt too comfortable with her being in our lives for this reason, but he insisted on making her our daughter's godmother. Yesterday after dinner I put our girl to sleep and asked him to help me decide something for the wedding. He said, "I'll leave it up to you." He has barely been involved in the planning of the wedding and it's been really annoying me. I told him I feel like he doesn't even want to marry me. We got into a fight and I asked him why he even proposed. He exclaimed, "Because it's the right thing to do." I told him to be honest with me and asked him if he was in love with me. He avoided the question and said something about wanting to raise our daughter together. When I repeated the question he finally responded, "I really care for you." But he didn't say he loved me. Then he said, "I just wanted to do the right thing." I thought that's what you wanted. I told him what I want is someone who is truly in love with me and who looks at me like I'm the only person in the world. Told him I can't be married to someone who sees me as just a friend. He got quiet and apologized for hurting me. He said he was afraid that if we broke up he wouldn't be able to see our daughter again. I told him even if we aren't together he can still see her and be in her life. He stayed the night at his co-worker's house. I called my mother and told her everything. I told her that I want to break up with him because he doesn't love me. She sympathized at first but then called me too idealistic. She said that I need to stop reading into the Hollywood fantasy of soulmates and true love and understand that a truly successful marriage is built on mutual respect and compromise. She says that romantic love always fades in a marriage but respect never will. My mother says that I'm lucky to have a man who is so responsible and such a good father. She says that men like him these days are 1 in a million, and tells me I shouldn't give him up just because he's not head over heels in love with me. He's a hard worker, responsible, a good dad, and handsome to boot. What more do you want? Those were her exact words to me. Before my decision seemed so clear, now it is not. I'm really at a crossroads right now and would love any advice, maybe from people who have been in this situation. Too long didn't read. My fiancé admitted that he proposed to me because it was the right thing to do, not because he's in love with me. You have the right instincts. Don't stay with someone who isn't 100% in your relationship. You deserve better. He sounds like a good guy. He didn't want to hurt you or not be there for your child. But he didn't propose for the right reasons. Honestly, it sounds like you two are better suited to be kick-ass co-parents. You're both level-headed people who are able to prioritize the needs of your daughter. Don't let your romantic relationship not working out sour your co-parenting relationship. I'm sure that you're hurt right now, but ending your romantic relationship with him will likely be better for you in the long run. Partner shouldn't be a warm body with a list of qualifications. You deserve to be with someone who is undoubtedly in love with you. If you marry him, this won't last. He's doing all of this out of a sense of duty. Maybe he stays until your kid is 18. Maybe he leaves before then, but it won't last. Better to rip the band-aid off now. The next 18 years of your life are going to involve frequent thoughts of why aren't I good enough for you to love? What is wrong with me? Why can't you love me? It will keep you up at night. It will come out every time you have a couple glasses of wine, and in passive-aggressive remarks at the Thanksgiving table. It will make you hate him. You will be far happier setting up a co-parenting/friend relationship with this guy and holding out for a man who loves you the way you deserve to be loved. Neither of you are bad people or did anything wrong. but you aren't right for each other as partners. There is someone so much better for you out there. And if you tie yourself to this guy under these circumstances, you will not only never find the right guy for you, you and this guy will end up hating each other because he doesn't want to be with you, and you know that. Resentment on both sides will build until it destroys every good feeling between you. No, it's not being idealistic. Life gets harder as you get older. He is young now, you both are. Admire his sense of responsibility, but when you are 10 or 20 years down the road, you need to be able to draw on the reservoir of love that you've built up over the years. If it's not there to begin with, you won't have any material to paper over the cracks with later. Also, what happens when you both meet other folks that you do have that connection with? Maybe your mum is hoping that love will grow, and it can sometimes, but I wouldn't like to hang my future on the hope that he might love you someday. Dude already knows that he doesn't 3 years later. The best thing would be an amicable split. Be civil, have joint access to the kid. Be kind to each other, and to yourself by giving yourself the opportunity to find the guy who thinks the sun rises and sets on you. Good luck. My 24 meters, girlfriend 24F is rich and has never worked a day in her life. I'm not sure how I feel about this. I've been dating my girlfriend for about 5 months. From the beginning I knew she was wealthier than me because she doesn't have a roommate and has a new car. She told me she worked at a company nearby. Well, last week I met her parents, and a few days ago she told me that she's been lying to me. She's way richer than she let on. The apartment is a fake apartment. Not in the sense that she doesn't have the lease, but she doesn't live there. She pays for an entire apartment just to seem poorer than she is. She lives in an ungodly large house, and her car isn't her normal car. She normally drives a Porsche, and she doesn't work at the company. Her dad is the CEO. She doesn't work at all. I talked to her a bit more on how her finances work, and here's basically how she explained it to me. She has more than I'll ever likely make in her name, in her accounts, but she for the most part just sends her credit card bills to her dad. So she basically has uncapped spendings. She went to college just for fun. There were some signs that she was lying, but I sort of ignored them. Her car seemed unused and her apartment seemed too clean and empty to be used. But she said she was a neat freak and hires a cleaning service, so I just took her at her word. She says during the day she just does basically whatever she wants. Sometimes she'll play video games all day, sometimes she'll go out with friends, sometimes she'll just take a day trip. Just whatever her heart desires. I can't imagine living like that. I mean, it seems like a dream. She's literally never worked before, not even a summer job. She's really sweet and we share a lot of interests, but I don't know if I can be with someone who literally has never had a stressor of any meaning, because she'll always have enough money to buy her way out of a situation. Plus I have no clue how it would work long term. If we got married, would I still work? I'm already feeling resentful that she just does fuck all during the day and I'm working. I have no clue what to do. We've been doing really well up until this point. Do you love her? Then stay with her. It shouldn't matter what money she has/doesn't have. The reason she probably lied to you is because she wanted to make sure you liked her for her, not for her money. Sounds cheesy and cliche, but that's probably what happened.